Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for an episode of Building Leaders Connect, a podcast by youth about life in Chicago.
My name is Ashley Pale, and I am 25, and I am the curriculum coordinator here at Gads Center, and I live in the Brighton Park area.
How long have you been living in your neighborhood?
I've been living in Brighton Park for about 20 years, so I would say most of my life. I grew up there.
How do you feel about your neighborhood, and what's something you would want to see change in your community?
I feel like Brighton Park has a lot of good people in it. Unfortunately, just like any other neighborhood in the south side of Chicago, or Chicago in general, it's dealing with a lot of violence and a lot of crime happening mostly in these past few years. But I feel like it's a good community where it's predominantly Latinos. And you said what would I want to change?
Or see change in your community?
I think one thing that I would want to see change would be the amount of resources available to our working families, because Brighton Park is mainly working families. So the amount of resources and especially the amount of money that is allocated towards the schools around Brighton Park. And that would be something that I would want to see change.
And lastly, what's the difference between Chicago now and before?
Well, I think a major difference has been, I would say, the amount of violence. Not to say that there wasn't any violence in the city before, but I feel like now people are becoming more aware and speaking out about it a lot more, especially with the youth now. They're doing more movements towards preventing violence and increasing the peace around the neighborhoods. So I feel like that has changed. And also the amount of respect that I feel like people have towards other human lives has been something that has changed. And unfortunately, we see less and less of that with the high crimes and the violence that's been happening around.
Thank you for listening today to our podcast. Please visit gadshillcenter.org for more information about Building Leaders Connect and to find out how you can support our programs. Special thanks to Beatrice, Eduardo, Chris, Uriel, and the staff at Gads Hill Center for working on this podcast. I'm Gabby, and this is Building Leaders Connect.